Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ralph Lazaro. I'm the Vice President of Digital Product Development for Baker & Taylor. Thank you for coming by, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to present to you as part of IDPF's Digital Discovery Zone. We've had a great 2 days of information and learning, and hopefully I can share a little bit more with you about Baker & Taylor and some of the digital innovations that we're working on that can service our suppliers, retailers, libraries, publishers, and others. So I'm sure many of you are aware of Baker & Taylor. We're one of the main sponsors here at Book Expo America. We're on your lanyard. We've been a big part of this show and this industry for a long time. Been in the industry for about 180 years, servicing our suppliers and growing different channels. And I'm going to give you just a quick 30-second overview of who we are and what we're doing right now that will help lead into some of the things that I'm going to share with you. So as you probably know, we're book people. We're book experts. We love books. We distribute physical and digital books. And we work with various suppliers and content creators to aggregate their content, add value services, and different products and services, and then distribute to various channels from library and education to retailers, internationally, and in a new channel that we call Device and Mobile. So that sort of frames up who we are, and I'm sure many of you are aware of what we do. I thought it would be appropriate to start this session with a quote that many of you may have heard before from Marcus Stoll. He's the CEO of Random House. This has become a famous quote that a lot of people use over the last year or two, where he was quoted in saying, we, speaking about Random House, have to change from a B2B company to a B2C company. And a lot of what I'm going to speak to you today is how Baker & Taylor is changing from a B2B to a B2C company. That doesn't mean we're going to go open bakerandtaylor.com and sell books on our own. It means that we have to start thinking like a B2C company, and I think that's what Marcus was really alluding to. I'm not assuming that randomhouse.com is going to go take over the world tomorrow and start selling books, but they as a company in the digital age need to start thinking that way, and we as Baker & Taylor are doing the same thing. So what I'm going to share with you today is not a technical demonstration of the various products we have. I mean, we'll go into that a little bit, but what I'm going to really focus on is Baker & Taylor and how we're servicing our channels and our suppliers with digital innovations, and we do that through creating our own digital products, through leveraging best-of-breed partners wherever we can. But what I'm going to share with you guys is sort of two main thoughts around digital innovation for Baker & Taylor. And it's very strategic driven that drives any other technical development. So the first is channel development and what we're doing through digital innovation to service those channels and to grow new channels. And the second is by getting to know that consumer better, thinking like that consumer, and thinking differently about the consumer than maybe we have as Baker & Taylor and as a physical distribution company for years and years and years, supplying other retailers who are speaking to those consumers. So I'm going to first talk to you guys about the channel. We all know the information. We've all seen various studies of data of digital is growing, and a lot of the trends that we see actually show that while digital grows, the industry is growing as well. So we would all agree it's a good thing, and if you're here, standing here right now, obviously digital is important to you, but I want to point out that as Baker & Taylor, when we think about digital, and as our suppliers' mix of products shift from print to digital, we're working to extend new channels of growth for content. It's not the standard channel that we're all used to. There's device and mobile now, and new areas for users to find content both online and within apps and in app stores and others. So the interesting thing to note here is, again, we all know these statistics, is the growth that we've seen over the last couple of years, from 61 million in sales to about 1.9 billion. And that number is from the BISG recent study, if you've seen it, and it's really supplied by that Association of American Publishers. The interesting thing to note, and the reason I'm sharing this with you, is I don't think any of us would disagree that 2 billion probably comes from about 3 or 4 companies that I don't really need to name here. We all know who they are. Some of them are here, some of them are not. But I think we would all agree that the future of our industry and the future of digital books cannot rest squarely on those 4 or 5 companies. I don't think any of us wants that. I know we as Baker & Taylor don't want that. So we're thinking about how do we grow new channels? How do we share content and help users browse and buy content through different channels? And as Baker & Taylor, as you saw in the slides before, it's our job to help think for our suppliers and think for our publishing partners and find them those channels, find the places to put their content so that users can find it. So I'm going to share a few examples of what we're doing to grow a few of those channels. The first is by building smarter and more in-depth e-commerce platforms for our retail partners, both that are already doing retail business with us, whether that's physical in-store or online. So a company like Sam's Book Club. We all know Sam's, they sell books in store. They have an e-commerce solution as well. Well, we've helped Sam's build a digital bookstore where users can buy physical books and digital books as well. We're even doing the same thing with universities, from community colleges to undergrad and beyond, where we're offering them digital and physical product for rental and so forth, and we're hosting those sites for them. And then one of the interesting ones is a company like Michaels. Michaels is well known for their solution, for their various storefronts throughout the world, but they're not known as an online e-commerce company. But what we've done is we've helped Michaels launch their e-commerce platform and launch their bookstore. So I'm actually going to show you a quick example of their site. Internet's being kind of funky here, so I may have to. But this is the Michaels bookstore that's hosted by Baker & Taylor. We do all the marketing and merchandising for them. We've just launched ebooks on this site as well. So we're in the business of enabling others to become booksellers, and we're thinking like the consumer for them, so that Michaels doesn't have to think about what books to focus on, what promotions to run, and we're connecting those publishers with the consumers, with the Michaels shopper. And as I said, we're doing the same thing for universities like USC. Another thing we're doing in the library and education space is we're offering some new platforms. One that we've recently launched a few months ago called Access 360. It is a digital content management platform that we offer to libraries so that they can offer digital lending to their consumers. And we've done that through ebooks, but then also through audiobooks. And if you come by our booth, we have a new partnership with Findaway that we've just announced, where we're helping get digital content, spoken word audio, and ebooks to the library patrons. And this is a hosted platform that can be customized. So any library can use it. I'll even show you a quick example. This is King County Library in Seattle. So if I live in Seattle and I've got a library card, I can go online to the King County Library. I can check out what books that they've got available. I can download that book right to my laptop. I don't even have to go into the library or to my mobile device. And we're even offering that book for sale. So if that patron goes on the website, doesn't find the book but wants to purchase it, we're making that available. And so it's another channel that we've been servicing for years in one way, but now through digital, we're creating a new way to service that channel, a new way to reach those consumers. And another way that we're doing that in the library space is through a acquisition that we've really recently made in a new product called Collection HQ. That is actually a collection management platform that we leverage to educate the libraries about user trends, user behavior, what books are being checked out, and help supply their inventory and manage their inventory for them. And the third channel that I want to share with you is the device and mobile channel. This is a new channel that the industry in general is getting accustomed to, and we as Baker & Taylor have formed partnerships with companies like Dell, HP, Intel, LG, T-Mobile, and Toshiba to be their back-end ebook infrastructure provider. And we do that by giving them the content, giving it an e-reading software that their users can use, and then doing all the merchandising and marketing for them as well in partnership. And we're excited about where that channel has gone over the last year or so and where it's going to go into app development and digital marketplaces. Part of how we've done that is through an e-reading software called BEA. And if you haven't heard of BEA, it's a full-color, full-experience e-reader that's focused on giving users a new experience that's more than just the black and white rendering of a page, that's showing off the vibrant color and enhancements for that content. And for some partners who choose to brand it as BEA, we have a just standard BEA app, but then as other partners decide to brand that, this is a Toshiba Bookplace app. So we work directly with Toshiba to provide them an e-reading software, and a storefront that's connected to this application. And as I mentioned, BEA displays phenomenally the full color enhanced content as well. Sorry, we have internet issues we weren't expecting today. There we go. So this is a full color cookbook. You can see it keeps the original rendering of that content as the publisher intended that book to be seen. And over this next 12 months, you'll start to see that we're going to be doing more customization and leveraging this BEA platform to offer niche markets and retailers and others the ability to customize an e-reader for themselves so that they don't have to make ebooks for sale and then send their patron or their user out to another platform that's going to sell them books elsewhere. Sorry about that. We lost our place here. All right. So I'm going to share a little bit about the consumer side. And if you were at IDPF yesterday and you got to hear Seth speak, he was phenomenal. Some of the information he shared is just cutting edge, changing for our industry. But one of the things Seth said that really hit me was when he mentioned that the model is shifting and the value of shelf space is becoming less critical. And what Seth is referring to is that shelf space in retail stores that we've been fighting for years, that we've been selling, that we've been merchandising and building planogramming around. And the way to reach the consumer was to get that shelf space, to do whatever it could to be front and center in that shelf space. But what's happening now is books are becoming what I call invisible. And I say that jokingly. We love books. We want to enjoy books. But as things move to the cloud, which is the buzzword that everyone wants to use today, when I want to just point out that the cloud just means internet. When the books go to the cloud, how does the user find those books? It's almost as they become invisible, they become lost. So if you're not thinking through digitally how to help users find those books now that they've become invisible, as a supplier, as a publisher, and as Baker & Taylor as a distributor, that's what we're focused on. So we're doing that in a few ways. I'm going to give you an example of how we're doing this through the OEM and mobile channel. And again, we're doing this for retailers and libraries as well, but they only give me 15 minutes up here, and I could go on for an hour for you about this. But so I'm going to give you some examples of what we're doing in the OEM and mobile channel specifically. And this is for digital books. So we're launching weekly email campaigns for our partners, where we manage the merchandising and marketing. We work directly with the publishers to build promotions, and we give them that space. And then we do customized marketing campaigns. This is a marketing campaign we did with Toshiba, where they emailed their millions of users to tell them about BookPlace, to tell them that they're a bookseller, and to share new digital products with them. Now this is interesting because this alludes to what I was referencing earlier. Toshiba is not a bookseller. They're not known as a bookseller. But because of where the industry is growing and the channels, the way that they're growing, they're becoming a bookseller. And as Baker & Taylor, we're focused on finding as many Toshibas as we can to help them sell digital content to reach their users. And then this is an email we did actually for HP that you can see, where this is a targeted email where we're gathering data about user behavior to understand where they were browsing and what books they've purchased, and then making recommendations directly to that user. We're doing online marketing for them as well. So for Toshiba, we're building assets and we're working directly with publishers to create promotions so that they can market to their user base. And the same thing with HP. This is an HP website. Between these two pages, we have probably 10 million unique visits per month. And that's an opportunity to reach a new base that's not used to coming to Toshiba or HP to buy their books. Something else we're doing with Toshiba that's interesting is they've actually given us the opportunity to load a card, whether a promotional or informational card, in each of their tablets. So if you buy a Toshiba Thrive, which is one of their popular tablets available at Best Buy or online, this card comes in the box explaining what BookPlace is, offering 4 free books. And then for a company like T-Mobile, we're doing in-store retail promotions with them, where we'll offer some free content to their users, and T-Mobile is messaging to their users that you want to buy from T-Mobile and be a part of T-Mobile because of their apps, because of the content that they offer, the unique promotions that they offer. So again, this just speaks to both the channel growth, where you have companies like T-Mobile and others becoming booksellers, but then how do you reach that consumer differently? Because there is no shelf space there. We're not thinking about where to place that book. We're thinking about how we message and reach that user and let them know this is a place that you can buy books. So in summary, I just want to leave you with those two thoughts about Baker & Taylor and how we're approaching the market for digital right now, and that's through channel growth, and that's building new channels and then growing existing channels, and that's through thinking about the consumer more. And that doesn't mean we're becoming a B2C company to sell books, but we have to think like the consumer in the digital space on behalf of the retailer or on behalf of the partner or the library or other to help them reach consumers. So all of the things that I've shown you today, if you want a deeper look into them, you want to have a demonstration or learn more, our booth is right in the center, number 3222. And we've created a digital demonstration zone where we have various devices out, and you can sit with someone and go in depth on any of those products and learn about some of the things that we're doing as Baker & Taylor. So thank you for taking the time to sit in today, and if you have any questions, I'll be on the side afterwards. Thank you.